And we're gonna see how the live thing works. Just to see if anybody comes in. If not, I'm just gonna do an independent video. But I got two questions, one from Shamar, and then I had another subscriber who's saying you have questions about trucking school. Let's see who's jumping in. Let's close that off a little bit. Yeah, I'm gonna go that way and go this way. Who got in here? Okay, no comments yet. Hey Quan, what's up, man? I'm gonna do just a quick, probably about a 30-minute live. I'm trying to make them shorter because that other one, man, it got long. But I had fun. And then I have two people who asked questions. One, somebody new joined me, Shamir, on the Facebook. So I'll forward the video to Shamir if they don't get in here. And then I just forgot the person who just joined. Peaceful Journey, what's up, baby? I'm gonna answer some questions because I got questions from a lot of, I guess, a couple females trying to get into the industry. One is asking about trucking school, and the other one said they're having a hard time coming in. So I'm gonna be dealing with that here in a minute. So I got Peaceful Journey, I got Quan, I got somebody else in here, but I'm not seeing who you are because you haven't commented. So welcome for whoever ain't commenting, if you're just watching. I'm gonna let some more people come up in here. I'm gonna be answering some questions that I got behind the scene this morning when I woke up. I'm still here in Phoenix. I'm probably gonna leave out tomorrow. I'll let my driver manager know to go ahead and schedule the load. And she said, just call me. Hey, Dustin. Oh, that's fine. It automatically saves it. I'm just gonna be answering. I got two questions that came up behind the scenes. One on Facebook from a Shamir who friended me regarding trucking, and one was, and I don't remember the name right now, and I apologize because I just responded to you telling you I was gonna go live. But you ain't got no sound. You can't hear me? Can y'all hear me? Tell me if you can hear me. Make sure it didn't connect to the Bluetooth. Bluetooth, hold on. Can y'all hear me? Is Dustin the only one that can't hear me, or can? Okay, Dustin, you the only one right now. Quan said he can hear me. So Dustin is saying, make sure you're not connecting to a Bluetooth. Anybody having problems with my photo? Peaceful, you can hear me. Okay, you can see me okay too? All right, NR said y'all can see me and hear me okay. So Dustin, I hate to say it, I think it's your connection. Disconnect and reconnect. Disconnect, reconnect. All right, so I'm gonna cover a couple of topics, and I just want, because what happens at the end of this video, YouTube automatically uploads it to the channel, and then I can forward it to the young lady if she can't get in here on Facebook. And then I had another young lady who just joined the channel a minute ago, earlier. I just got back to the truck. We put some stuff in storage. I still got to work on this little section over here, but we took a box and a bag, 2 bags and a bin. So I got to work on some stuff over here, and then I wasted water. I got a hot mess, and I'm going to wash my bedding because I was sweating, from the cold. So thank you for y'all joining. Okay, Dustin, we'll talk later. This will be uploaded later, so it's just really going to deal with some topics. And I'm also going to deal with your Andrew Yang. Okay, Dustin brought up something about this Andrew Yang, and I thought I went and read on it because it was pretty good. All right. I'm buffering at times. Okay. Let me see. It might be this curtain's in the way. Y'all see me? How's the signal now? Because on my end, it shows everything is smooth. Anybody else having buffering issues? I probably need better phone service, so I apologize, y'all. But mine is showing smooth. It's not like freezing like sometimes it does when I first tried it. Okay. Ain't nobody saying too much, so I'm going to go on and get into it. All right. So I had 2 young ladies clear on that. Okay, so it might just be signal, Peaceful Journey. But yeah, because on my end it's showing good. Quanti Gamer is showing me. Dustin was having voice hearing issues, but that could be his phone. Because on my end, usually if there's a problem, it will show up here. Can y'all, and I opened up the light a little bit. So I'm gonna deal with two topics. Y'all got any questions? We'll get in here. Hey, Dreaming Big, good to see you, baby. So here's what's going on. So, okay, it's fine now. Good. I moved the curtain because sometimes that can block your cell phone signal where I had it sitting. So I hope y'all, the light's coming in, but it'll be all right. And I'm in the truck. So me and Joe, we just took some stuff to the storage unit. I'm feeling a lot better. Still have a little bit of drainage. I got to go pick up some prescriptions that were called in for me. And I'll pick those up later on. I'm not worried about it. My driver manager is really, I love the lady. She's like, yeah, just call me tomorrow. They left me with the Nestle load. She said, we haven't even rescheduled it yet. So I figured it ain't a big deal. It's not like a hot load. So we have what do you call it? They have they have a dedicated Nestle group too. So they have their own Nestle account. So they have arrangements there. So it's like, a bunch of sugar and stuff. And so, okay. I'm probably gonna have it tomorrow. This is the end of the pay period, so the pay period was shot anyway when I got in here. So preferably I don't know what I'm gonna get, but it'd be enough to, get some groceries on the truck and cover a bill. And then I'll get rolling again. But actually I'm okay with not rolling because she just sent out that there is snow everywhere in the country. Even here in my home state of Arizona, there's gonna be a massive snowstorm going up north. So, and in California, Donner's Pass, all that stuff. So it's gonna be bad. Which might be why she's like, yeah, you okay? Because she know I won't jack with the snow week. Look, bark. I'm not trying to be turned over. Not trying to have that experience. I slid in the truck. I do not want to slide again. All right. So here's what's going on. Shamir hit me up on Facebook. I have a new person, and I apologize. I don't recall the name. I should have wrote it down, and then I jumped on here, who joined just a few minutes ago or earlier today, and they had questions about a good trucking school. So we're going to deal with the good trucking school. Let me knock that out first, and then I'm going to come to Shamir because Shamir's is long. I don't know where you're at in the country. So you could be anywhere in the country. What you want to do is, first thing, so I'm going to tell you what I did to research the trucking school I went with. I actually looked, and I mentioned this in earlier videos, I went to several different, I started looking at trucking schools back, when I was working with Schwab in 2001 or 2. Okay, I had thought I would drive all the way to work, and I would pass it to myself, that sounds like a cool ass job, because I hated being in the office. We had just a lot of stuff. So I started researching. I'm gonna say it had to be back in 2000. I don't know. I'm gonna say 2001, 2. Okay, I went to one of the trucking schools. I went to 2. I went to AIT here in Phoenix and Swift. And the first thing I did, that's back, during the internet. So the first thing I did was I researched it. I Googled it and researched to find out. And the 2 trucking school companies that came up were AIT and Southwest. I went to Southwest, talked to them. I went to AIT. And back then, I don't even remember if financial aid was an option. They told me how much it was going to cost. I knew I did not have that kind of money. And I went on back and worked for several years. In 2009, I was working for telecommunication companies as a supervisor, and I got downsized out. So I had decided either I was going to go back, and I had a bank offer from a bank. Hey, Miss Tasha, I'm doing better, much better. I had a bank offer from a bank, and what I'm talking about is I'm just answering some questions from 2 young ladies that hit me up in the background, one on Facebook and one on YouTube. The one I'm talking about right now is the trucking school. So I decided I didn't really want to go back into corporate America. I was burnt out, and I knew I wanted something different. So I ended up going back to those 2 trucking schools that I went back to in 2001. The Southwest did not do the financial aid at the time, but AIT did. Also, the way AIT handled me, in a sense, coming from a business background, was much more professional, in my opinion. They walked me into the classroom so I could see what that experience was going to be. They walked me onto the road range, and I could watch the students practicing backing and driving and pre-trip. Then they walked me inside, and they went over everything. She took the information, the paperwork, and she ran everything through financial aid, and then they contacted me and said, you've been approved for financial aid. I only had a little portion I would have had to pay out of pocket, and then they approved me for a independent loan to pay the rest of it. At that point, I packed up I told them when I wanted to start. I didn't want to start till June, because also I knew I had to walk away from a home, because I was in the economy where the mortgage just went up. I had a fluctuating mortgage rate. So packed up the house, turned that all back over to the mortgage company. And then I had moved in with a friend a room so that I could stretch what money I had. And I was getting also unemployment, so I could stretch the money I had, and I just rented a room from them until I got on the truck. At the time, I had my dog Hillary. So Hillary was with me, and I actually ended up, Joe and another friend of mine ended up watching Hillary for me my first year out. That's honestly, they watched him my first year out, okay? Because initially I went with Werner after trucking school, and it didn't work out. And then I went over to Swift. And Swift worked out, but Swift did not allow dogs at that time, okay? So how I researched, I just simply did a Google. I researched, and then I went in person. Now, what I would do, the technology is much better now than it was when I looked, because now you get ratings. People make comments. And that's what you want to do. You want to go look at the ratings, the comments, and see what they say about the trucking school. And then go in person. And that's kind of what I did. I was looking, really did, and it wasn't as much information in trucking as it is now. Social media is much more than what it was now, as far as like Facebook and YouTube and all that. So you got a lot of feedback. Now you got so much feedback, you got to wade through good and bad. So financially, if you're going to do trucking school, I'm going to let you now whether you're going to do that out of pocket, whether you're going to do financial aid, whether you're going to reach out and see if you can get a grant that'll cover it. That's up to you. If that is not but that does not meet your criterion, you don't think you can get financial aid to cover the whole thing. My nephew was thinking about coming into it, and you don't think you can do it that way, then your next best option, I have a headhunter you can get in touch with, who she sometimes offers some free trucking school. I don't know all the details. I will, at the end of this video, I'll have to put her number below. I'll put her name and her number below. It's Heart Solutions. She's on Facebook, so you can reach out to her. It's a lady who owns it, runs it. She used to be a fleet manager for Conway. She started her own trucking business after some health issues, placing drivers with trucking companies. But she also will help you if you're a new driver, getting you with a trucking company if you need to go that route, or a trucking school. You're looking for free school. Oh, Charlotta, that's it. You're the one that asked me the question. Welcome to the channel. So Charlotta asked about the trucking school, and she's on here. So I'll put her information below, and I'll actually put her number in too. And you can contact Heart Solutions and see what she has to offer. Okay, so that's one option for you. The other option is you can automatically, which she can help you with as well. You can do it on your own, or you can have the headhunter, and then she also can give you overviews of companies. So what I liked about, I dealt with Heidi. I went to that Oklahoma company that did not work out. I was looking at one company that didn't work, and so I went to the one she suggested. It didn't work for me because how they're trying to run the company, and they are going through some growth pains. I'm good, and so they're going to have to do. A lot of companies need changes of attitudes, personality, and personnel. Okay, that's something because their financial situations that they're trying to clean up, and so they've gotten rid of a lot, but they streamlined so much. I think that's another problem. Anyway, getting back to the trucking school. So you also could just go and apply at starter company trucking schools. You got KLLM, you got Swift, you got Knight. I don't know if Werner, I think Werner may have a trucking school too. I can't remember. Yeah, everybody, Quan the Gamer said, make sure y'all hit that like button. Thank you for reminding. Quan, you the bomb. Quan, please, everybody, if you like it, hit the like button. If you ain't subscribed, subscribe. Show me some love. And thank you very much. Quan always reminds me. But the trucking school, you can go through the companies. And like I said, I know KLLM, I know Swift, I know Knight for sure. I know those three companies have schools. Prime also, if you get into Prime, that would be my number one choice. You know, if I financially couldn't afford it, and I could get into Prime, that would be my number one choice. I like what I see, at least from the online YouTube trainers that I know of, and some that I'm on Facebook groups, like Tiffany Hanna, Junior Honduras. Also, I watched Nick and Carla, and I watched DeeBoy Stance. What's his name? Grindmo J was on here yesterday with us. All those people are Prime drivers, like DeeBoy Stance, Nick and Carla, and Grindmo J. They all went through Prime trucking school. I'm very impressed. Swift and Prime. Okay, so with Swift, I have family that works for Swift, and I have friends that are still at Swift. So for Swift, my cousin is a trainer there, and he's a lease purchase operator. I have another friend of mine who was a lease purchase operator, and he's been with Swift for 21 years as a trainer. What I don't like about Swift is similar to the company I'm with. Their trucking school is only 3 weeks long. Okay, so it's a strong crash course. You got to know your stuff. And what I would say is go ahead and study up, get ready for your CDL test. Trucking school, or whether you go through the trucking company's training school. So you got to go out with a trainer. That to me is the worst part of it. The trucking school part, theirs is too short. 3 weeks is going to be not long enough. But if it can get you in the door, get your foot in the door however you get it. Get your CDL however you need to get it. If you can't afford to go to a trucking school and you don't want that bill, then go on and go put in for Night Swift Prime and go ahead and put in for them. Go on and get your feet in the door and get your CDL. From there, you can go to any other company, especially after you do about 6 months. I got one guy who was at a starter company. He didn't even complete his 6 months, and he working intermodal 7 a.m. He was on here yesterday, Black Nation TV. He was on here yesterday, and he was here at my company, and he was, I know that baby didn't do 6 months, because I saw him when he first got off his trainer's truck. We ran into you at the terminal, and that baby did not finish 6 months. He's doing intermodal right now he put it on here, so I'll say JB Hunt, and he home in his bed, 7 p.m. I think he said 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. every night. Yeah, I mean, if that's what you want to do. But as soon as you get that CDL, the door is open. Now, it might not be the top echelon companies, but the door will open. Okay, so if you're willing to do that, yeah, put in for Swift, put in for Prime. I would tell you I go Prime first and then Swift. If you get in door on Prime, go. Prime is just really picky. That's the thing, and that's what some of the other companies. When it comes to that training school, if you're an experienced driver, because I'm fat, as long as you're experienced, you ain't hit that, you had no major accidents, whatever, I get that. Give us a little bit of break. But if you in training school, I think they do need a little bit harsher on how they pick the trainees. Quan the Gamer said, right, go Prime first. Yeah, I'm impressed. Prime I'm impressed because they remind me a lot from what I can see from the outside looking in and interacting with Prime people. And finding out about their facilities, like in Missouri, I heard they have like a campus. That reminds me so much of my Conway days. And Conway was probably the best trucking company. If it wasn't for my driver manager at Conway, I would have probably stayed there. Conway was good. And it was, I don't know how it is now that it's CFI, but back in the Conway days, it was good. They really had a focus. They were driver centered. They took your humanity into place. But yeah, Prime. So how I would rate it, I don't know. I mean, I know people who said KLLM is good too. They're in Mississippi. And they were another company I was looking at. Freddie Jordan had good things to say. And I forgot, I think her name was Trucker Diva or something like that. She worked for them, was a trainer for a little bit. She started there. Well, she went to Star England, didn't work, and she went there. So KLLM is another one. Night Swift would be on the same level because they're a merged company, but I don't know the difference between Night training and Swift training. Although my training instructor at my AIT school, she still works part-time on the weekends for Night, taking loads between Phoenix and California just for extra money. So that's her part-time gig. And she tried to recruit me tonight. So, yeah. Let me see what she said. Well, so here's what I found. She's one of the driver advocates, and she saw that I was carrying reef. The physical only required me to carry some kind of crate across the floor, which is like, it's a 50-pound crate. I did it for Conway. Conway made me carry a crate, and then I had to climb up on this table. I was a lot less. I was at least 100 and some pounds lighter back when I was working for Conway. So I did that with no problem. Pride, Pride, they required me to carry chains across the floor. Now that's just basic stuff that you should be able to do. So but I now have a limp because I fractured my ankle from falling off the back of a drive-in when I was coming back from my refresher trainer with one of the crazy trainers I had. Pride, I just had to do chains. That's about 50 pounds. So that's what the 50 pounds is for, is to see if you can carry chains to chain up a truck. But most major carriers and most carriers, nobody should require you to chain. You actually should be very much, the company should dissuade you from chaining, because if you get in an accident, meaning you don't have to hit anybody, somebody can hit you with the chains on, the accident is automatically your fault. And if they die and you have chains on and they hit that truck, they're going to say you shouldn't have been there, and that's manslaughter. So I'm just going to tell you, avoid chaining like the plague. I was just watching Nick and Carla talking about snow, and she was saying something about chains. Avoid chaining. I have only chained a truck one time, and I did that with my trainer with Swift back in 2011. That was it. And after I found out about the whole hitting thing, I always call ahead. If chain law is in effect, we're shut down. If there's heavy snow to where I think chain law might go in effect, we shut down. I don't play. I don't do the chains. And it's crazy. It's actually, you look at this big ass truck and you think about going back there chaining all them tires, then you got to chain. You're not only training the truck. You're not chaining just your tractor. You also got to chain the trailer tires. It's crazy as hell, and it don't make sense. So if you got to go through all that rigmarole to get through a little short distance, because normally with snow it's a short distance you got to get through, but you risk so much in that short time because you got other four-wheelers, and you watch it on the news all the time with these people sliding all into each other and crap. It's crazy as hell. Okay, and so Black Greek, what's up, Mafia? I like that name. Okay, it says that's why the crash rate is high in trucking. People are improperly trained. They're pushing people through the money for the money. I trained privately over 10 years. Okay, yeah, I concur. And the company I'm with is a button-a-seat training company. And they asked me to be, and some of y'all know from watching some of the older videos, but they asked me to be one of the instructors at the school here in Phoenix. Well, they asked me to apply for it. And I was like, I couldn't, I told the driver, I can't even put my name behind that. I can't. Because I had some of the resulting students on my truck. And what I saw was scary. I mean, literally scary. The Nigerian girl, I wasn't even going to pass her to where I could get out the seat and go in the bunker. We get in the team phase, which is where you really start making your money as a mentor. I couldn't even do that. She was off the truck before I got to that. But, and I told them, I said, you guys, she really wants to do the job, but I would not go into sleeper with that baby in that seat. Miss Tasha, you crossed on mountain, and she couldn't get the truck to go forward, and I want to help y'all. I'm in the automatic. We're not talking a manual. I get you not being able, maybe the manual rolling back a little bit, but this automatic. All you have to do is put your foot on the gas and go. And we started rolling backwards. She couldn't get the truck to go forward. I'm just saying. That's dangerous. But anyway, so with your trucking schools, what I really recommend is first where you're at in the country, find that out. One person, what she did is when she has 18 plus years of trucking, she coming back over the road. She waited for her daughters to graduate. She was doing sanitation truck in the Carolinas. And what she did was watch the trucking companies that were in her area. Okay, so you're in Texas. So you could probably have, Texas is a truck-friendly state. So you probably got some good trucking schools out there. Swift Transportation, you got them in Lancaster, Texas. Oh, shoot. You got them in El Paso, Laredo. I've been to all those terminals. Where else are they at? Those are the three I know in Texas. So Lancaster, Laredo, El Paso, and then you got one in Oklahoma. Those are going to be the closest ones I know to you. And so Lancaster is going to be, that's Dallas area. So I don't know where you're at, but that would be probably, I don't know if they have a school there. I'm trying to think. I don't know that they have a school in Lancaster. I'm looking in my head right now at that terminal. Yeah, Lancaster is Dallas, but I'm looking at that terminal in my head, And I don't ever recall a trucking school there, but they might. Just get in touch. Greenville? Oh, Steven. Okay, Stevens that she could do Stevens, but does Stevens have a school? Because Stevens, I know that Stevens Tankers is oil field. Do they have a school? Because Jay Rich, she went from regular Stevens to Stevens doing their tankers at the oil fields. So Black Creek, let me know. You could go Swift, but like I said, my thing, I would try to go Prime first. And then, actually, let me give you the rule of the roost in trucking. Apply for all of them. Because if you don't pass in one, you always can fall back on another one. That's just how you even apply for jobs. When you get into trucking, and for those truckers that are on here, they'll tell you, you apply, if you're going to leave a trucking company, put in for as many other trucking companies as you feel necessary. And then, if you go to one you really want and it falls through, because it could fall through on the physical. It could be you're too fat, you know, your blood pressure ain't right. You can't do whatever this aerobic physical they got, and then you end up having to go to another trucking company. You always have a fallback. Yeah, I haven't heard good things about Roadmaster. You are correct. I have not heard anything. I've heard very bad things about Roadmaster. Very, very bad things. So I don't know about them, but I haven't heard good things about them. Yeah, I haven't heard anything good. But so that's the trucking school part. So what I would do is, if you're going to go to companies, you can go to Jiggy Jobs, and you can apply as a new student. It's JIGGY-JOBS, like getting jiggy with it, like the song from Will Smith. You can do that at Jiggy Jobs and apply as a student, and you want to get your CDL. And then it goes out to like all the new companies, and then your phone will be ringing off the hook. See what they're paying per mile. See how long you have to be with them. Is there a contract? Oh, U.S. Express. Well, no, I think U.S. Express also does a trucking school, I think. Is there a contract? How long you have to be with them for that contract to be fulfilled? If you leave before the contract is fulfilled, what are the repercussions? Like one of my people, he was with U.S. Express, and if he would have left, which he did, before he had another job sealed, they would have blocked him because they would have given him a negative report. So what he did is he got a job first, went through the orientation, and made sure that their truck was sitting on their lot, and then contacted them and did his resignation. So, and in trucking, I hate to say it, you don't have to give a 2-week notice. You know, a trucking it's not going to hurt you if you don't get. There's so much of a shortage, and you don't have to give a 2-week notice in trucking as a truck driver. I mean, if you can, that's good, but sometimes giving 2 weeks notice will bite you in your ass in trucking. Because then I had a friend who worked for one of the major starter company carriers. She gave a 2-week notice, and they started having her run all over and do all sorts of evil crap. So yeah, 2-week notice, don't. Yeah, you can also do technical colleges that have transportation jobs. The Black Greek said that one, and that actually will help. DCIJams on our TheTrucker411, he went to a junior college in Florida that offered trucking, and that's how he got his CDL. And then he's working for Werner right now, who's supposed to pay that debt off for him. He's got to stay with them for about a year, and then that debt will get paid for him. And that's what he's trying to do. But he's having some issues right now with them in the snow because they keeping him up in the East Coast. I tried to tell him. I warned him. So that's my answer. If you have any more questions on trucking schools, let me know. And then I'll also put Heidi's information later on in the bottom, and I'll also put it in your comment that you sent to me, and then you can call her helping me again. I'm praying on that right now. She helped me when I went to the little Oklahoma company that didn't work out, but she has a plethora of companies to apply for. And the other thing is, if you get your CDL through like a technical college or something like that, she also has JB Hunt trains military. If you're military, they'll train military folks for free. So will Swift. A lot of them right now have programs to recruit the military. I think the government's giving them some kind of tax breaks for that. But if you're a military person, well, there was a big thing about bringing in people now 18 and under who are military, or 18 and older, and letting them have CDLs depending on military training. So that is, I think, part of it. Plus, I think the government's giving them a break for that, for a lot of the military people coming back from Iraq and Afghanistan and all that. So they're giving them a break So yes, if you have a military background and you're trying to come in and get a career, that is going to help you, and they will do it for free. You don't have to usually go into any of these contract things. There's something else I wanted to give you. There's another company. I just lost that train of thought. I got a phone call, y'all. Hopefully that didn't cut me off in a minute. Okay, phone call came in, and I just declined it. Y'all can still see me. Yeah, I can still see most of y'all. So, CFI also will take new students, which is the company Conway. But I don't know how they are now that they became Conway. But like I said, they were a great company before, so it might be a go. The other, I'm trying to think. Okay, so the other question I had, I'm gonna go to the other question. So if you have other questions on trucking schools, let me know. But hopefully that'll help you out. And like I said, just apply and go from there. Thank you. Thank you very much, Black Greek. So the other thing that I was going to go to is I needed Shamir. I think it's Shamir. Hit me up on Facebook. They friended me and then they asked me questions. So I'm going to give you the synopsis because I'm not looking at it. Oh, hey, Charlotte, you're welcome. Do you have any other questions on the trucking school? Did that help? Let me know if that helped you. And then I'll put the link for Heidi below, or the phone number for her. And it is her personal cell. You will call her cell. After this video. I'll do it after the video. So I can't see her phone number right now. So the other thing was, there's a young lady. I don't know where she's at in the country. She hit me up, and her question was long because I wasn't going to sit there and type it all up. So I told her I was going to do a live, and if she could get to this, cool. If she can't, I'll give her the link once it's all done. Her question was several fold. She's trying to break into trucking. She's running into, I don't know exactly what she's running into. She said roadblocks as a female trying to come into the industry. She asked me, did I have any roadblocks coming in? She asked me about trucking companies to put in for. She asked me about my experience with a trainer and what that was. So I'm going to try to cover that as best I can. Honestly, coming into it and getting the CDL, I did not have any roadblocks. It was a very smooth, with the exception of just going to school and all of that. It wasn't anything where I felt discriminated in any way as a woman, as an African-American woman. I didn't. Actually, like I said, the trucking school I went to, phenomenal. I no issues. What I actually even liked about it is that while this is a very male-dominated industry, we had 2 female trainers on the road range. The rest were men, and our in-classroom instructor was a female, and all of them were drivers. The in-classroom instructor was a former Swift driver, and then she went to night, and her husband were former instructors for Swift trucking school, the little 3-week school I talked about. The other 2 ladies, I don't know if one of them was, I think she might have been just an independent driver, and the other one had married, and her husband drove for years. We had a good range from owner-operator to company drivers as trainers at my trucking school, and most of those people had 20 plus years of truck driving experience. So coming in, they were very, I wasn't like, if you come in and I knew about rollovers, I knew about snow and ice, I knew about, that we were pretty much prepared. There's some things I run into that I didn't know, like ice fog. I didn't know what the hell that was, or I never knew what that was until Trucker Bill told me. So, but I was pretty much prepared. I knew how to hook up the glad hands. I knew that you had to slide the 5th wheel for weight. I had to figure it out how it worked, but I knew that. I knew about the landing gear. I knew about brake chambers. I knew about tire depth. I mean, I knew. The people that I got from the 3-week school from my company, babies didn't know how to roll up the landing gear. Babies didn't know how to hook the glad hands. Yeah, hot mess. So I had the basics down of just even connecting the truck just like that. So I did not run into any issues there. So I can't say that. I think where my biggest frustration came in the industry is actually, like I said, being in this small space with some stranger you don't know. That is probably the more difficult part. The first guy I got, the first company I went was with Werner. I'm gonna be honest. The first dude I got was this guy. I don't know what nationality he was. Yeah, I learned in the winter. So yes, Black Greek, I did learn in the winter. So that actually, it prepares you. Yes, that's the best time, because you will then learn how to deal with snow, or how not to deal with snow and avoid it like I do, or when to shut down, when to drive it, when to shut down. Because I would shut it down. Like when the other day when I was here, you go to my other video, you can't see me driving. I'm gonna eventually get a drive cam in here, but I'm gonna get one of those, I forgot, GoPros. I'm gonna get a GoPro, but I don't have the money for that right now. So the windshield wipers, my windshield wipers started feeling with snow, the outside, and even with the heat on, it was coming down so fast it wasn't melting. That's time to get off the road. And I got my off the road. That's what I did. So, and then also my trailer did a slide to the rumble strip. Time to get off the road, because the conditions were becoming too icy. And even with the snow, and when you're riding over snow, you learned about packed snow. The worst time to be on snow is when it becomes packed, because now it becomes, and if it's if it's in freezing conditions, you ride straight ice. So those are things you learn. I did learn the chain. I don't know if I can do it again. I probably can, but I learned the chain. I learned a lot. I'm gonna come back to that question here, Charlotta. I learned a lot about that, but that was with Swift. That wasn't with Werner. So with Werner, here were my obstacles. The first guy I immediately knew, getting in his truck, he didn't like this. And I was big. I was half this size, but I was still heavy when I first came in, and I was fat. So he was trying to do coded conversations, which he wasn't good at, to whoever his people was that he was on the phone with. And he was short, a little short dude, and he was a dick. I don't know what nationality he was, but he made racial comments in a roundabout way about Mexicans. So it told me what you think of me being black. And he looked at me. I thought he was Mexican. That was what was mind blowing. I don't know what nationality he was, because in my opinion, he wasn't white. His skin was a more olive type complexion, almost Middle Eastern or Latino. I thought the dude was Latino when I met him, but he was not. I don't know what nationality, but I think he claimed himself as white. He was a different cat. And basically I lasted the one day and then asked to get off his truck. Then I went on his buddy's truck, which I didn't know they knew each other. This is all Werner. And I got from here to Dallas. He took over in El Paso, or no, he took over right as we crossed into Texas, and drove the rest into the Dallas terminal. And he drove as crazy as he could. I mean, it was, he was driving right up on the bumper of other trucks. You could hang spit between those trucks. He was just, he was being a dick. And actually, I didn't ask to get off his truck. He asked for me. He had me get off the truck saying that he had a family emergency. So I lasted all of one day, but not even a whole day. We basically went from here to Texas. He didn't see me back. He didn't see anything. I just drove out. We changed at the rest area, and just, I mean, it's a simple drive, nothing big. But he made comments in the very beginning, getting on his truck, that told me my issue. And one was a comment about the Latinos. I was like, So I got off his truck, and the next guy I got, he was friendlier, but he told me then about his previous female black driver student who he had get off the truck. Told me about his girlfriend that took care of his kid. And then he told me, I don't know if this is really going to be for you. You probably want to do something where you're at home. And I'm like, well, why would you say that? And he couldn't really tell me. There were things they were telling you to do, like when you take curves, he's telling me you take it at 65, like it's posted. That is not true. That's not true. And if you go to trucking school, they should not be telling you that. You take that posted. If it's a curve, you need to drop the speed on this truck by about 10 miles an hour or more. The company I'm at tells their people drop it in half. And I usually tell 10 miles or more, because that's what I learned in trucking school. One, because the lead and what they call the G-force of this truck in a curve, if that load shifts, it'll turn the truck over. Also, depending on your G-force, it can flip the truck up in the back. So that's why they tell you. That's why sometimes states you go to, it'll have a truck speed for a curve and it'll have a car speed. But all posted speed limit is really cars. And then you can operate the trucks within a safe zone at that speed. So if you can go 70 miles an hour on the freeway, go. But if for some reason as a truck you can't go that, you can drop it down. but you do need to stay at the minimum speed of either 40 or 45 miles an hour. That is correct, Black Greek. Signs are for the cars, not for us unless it specifically says trucks. So I had a lot of cowboys, in my opinion, in the day back in 2009. And they had what they call a driver, kind of like a counselor that would call you, that was assigned to you for your truck experience. So I talked to her and I said, I'm done with the males, get me a female. So we came back from Colorado and she got me a female learner driver who was actually pretty good. That lady was actually very good. But again, we came to the argument, well, not argument, but just they want to be, oh, you can take that curve at 65. We're in New York. So at this point, I done drove. I could back. She says, you can back and you can drive. Okay. And I was with her, me and her together for a couple of weeks, actually. We were together 2 weeks, and I probably had a couple more weeks with her before I ended up getting off her truck. And that's when I was done. And I got off her truck in Nebraska. We slid with a load in New York. She was telling me to take this curve at 65 in New York. I told her I'm not doing that, and luckily I didn't. I took the curve at like 50, 55, and the truck started sliding linear right towards an embankment of water. So with that happening, I stayed with them maybe about a week more. I can't believe, even if it was a week, maybe 2 or 3 days more. And I talked to but the load, what I was telling her, she's like, oh, this truck's not sliding. Yes, it is. No, it's not. Yes, it is. When we got to the con, which is the final stop, when she opened the back door, she came up to me, and I'm sitting in the driver's seat, and she looked at me and she said, her face was white, you felt that truck slide? Yeah, I told you it would slide. She said, come on back. The whole load had shifted right. So what happened, like I told you, when you come to the curves, it was a learning experience. It changed however, it has implanted in my brain on how I do curves and corners. And that what I learned from my trucking school was the truth. When you taking a curve, don't take that curve. You don't, and especially because we did a lot of drop and hook. We didn't see how stuff was loaded. I don't know how that's loaded. The trailer I got right now that I'm supposed to be taking the car, I don't know how that's loaded. I ain't seen it. When I got it, it was sealed. It's got a bolt seal on it. I don't know how it's loaded. So to presume that it's loaded correctly, it could be top heavy. Top heavy means that when you come out that curve, it's gonna give you more of a lead. Swift, back when I was with them in 2011, they were having so many turnovers with Walmart and Target loads because their drivers were taking curves and corners too fast because the loads they just threw them boxes in there as top heavy and they would turn right over. So my experience with Werner was not good. I don't think it's a bad company. I just think I had bad trainers. So if you want to know about trainers, you could go through several trainers who are horrible. Okay. And this small space is hard. It's hard. Even as when I did mentorship for the company I'm with, it's hard to be on this truck with some stranger you don't know, and all their idiosyncrasies, and all your idiosyncrasies, all your issues. So then I came to Swift. The first guy they gave me, which we clicked immediately, he was a Mexican dude out of California. He did the ports, and he told me, he said, if you want to do the ports, I got you, girl, baby girl. He was cool as a mug. He like, I'll show you. We didn't even get out of town, and it wasn't me, it was him. He had apparently done a stop on a high value load under 2 hours. So when you're on a high value load, they want you to drive for 2 hours without stopping, or a certain number of miles stopping. And he stopped before the 2 hours. So they contacted him and they said, you need to bring her back to the terminal, and they suspended him from being able to train. Okay, Travis, I'm gonna come back to you studying EDL because I don't know if we talked yesterday about the CRIS test. We'll talk about those in a minute. And I'll also tell you some other keys to the kingdom when you go take your test at DMV. So I'm answering the question for Shamir that was on my Facebook. So what ended up happening, they made me come off his truck because he had a previous load that he didn't do, previous high value load. And we were doing Bose speakers here out of Arizona. He had a previous high value load that he stopped before the 2 hours. And so they kind of put him in. It's kind of like a timeout. You know, he got to go 30 days before he could train or whatever. again. So then they gave me this other Mexican dude. He was different, and I did my whole time with him, but by the time we got done, I know we hated each other. But he worked for an owner op with Swift, and my issue that I was having with him, he kept trying to force me to come over to his owner op as a driver. So that already tells you I can drive. He first wanted me to team with him. Then he wanted me to, well, if you know, I didn't want to team with him, well, his owner op had other trucks that I could drive as a driver for his owner op. But his owner op wasn't even paying him on time, okay? He trying to join the NBA to not be broke again. You funny, Travis. So his owner op wasn't even paying him on time. And so, like, even when we were out there, I had income coming in and I had income saved. So, like, there were times, he had food when he got home, but then if he needed to refill or he didn't have money for food, I took care of the food, and then he would have to pay me back once he got his check. And I'm like, you trying to convince me to come to somebody who ain't paying you on time? You lost your damn mind. So we got into it because of that, because I said, look, I need you to stop asking me to come work for this dude. I'm not going to come work for your owner op. He can't pay you on time. B, it doesn't look good when you go work for an owner op, because if that owner op business go out, which a lot of these people going under some of these starter companies, they don't maintain their business right. They start flossing, and their credit gets good, so they go buy high dollar vehicles, homes, and then they can't pay their drivers because they're not managing their money right. Okay. And so you get out there, you think you're working for this, you got a little freedom, they got a little more flashy truck than what you're getting, the basic truck you're getting from the trucking company. So you go work for this owner op. You also have a little bit of freedom. Okay, I got you, Travis. You got a little bit of freedom, and then you think, hey, I can floss with this owner op. Well, if the owner op ain't paying you on time, there's a problem. He doesn't have his channel anymore. A guy named JC Elect did a great video about his experience working for an owner op, and it got physical. He actually basically had to almost this man's behind to get his money. So, and I mean, to me, that's unnecessary, but I'm not going to position myself like that. So if you're going to be a company driver, to me, go work for an actual legitimate company that has some tenure. There are some smaller mom and pops. There are some smaller, hey Quan, there's some smaller mom and pops. There's some, small, medium companies that have several trucks that have a good record. Okay, that's fine. But like these guys that are within a starter company and they leasing trucks onto that from the starter company, and then they want to sit at home and put another newbie in the seat to drive their fancy truck, and then they supposed to be paying you. Understand, if you come out of trucking school and go to them and that business goes under, where is your records of how you did as a driver? Who is the next trucking company supposed to check in with? Because that person is no longer in business. So to me, when you come out of trucking school, you need to go work for a major carrier for at least a year minimum, if you can, 6 months, but at least a year. 6 months will get you in the door somewhere else, but a year will help you. Now, nowadays, though, things are so desperate, as long as you probably drove for a little bit, somebody else might take you. You might have to go back out with a trainer again. Though. That's the bad part. So that was my experience, and I went with Swift. I did the whole time with him, and then I ended up on my own. Then I did mentorship for a little bit with Swift, and then I wasn't making that much money, and I left because it was back in the day during the economy crash and all that. So I left. So let's see here. You know what? I went to the Oklahoma company. They gave me a brand new 2019. I'm gonna be honest. The Oklahoma company, my truck was nice. It was laid. It was 2019. Y'all can see the video. I was able to put a refrigerator in there. It came with the satellite TV, flat screen TV. Very nice truck, fully laid. It was nice. It was a very, very nice truck. But I always say with the new shoe shine, sometimes comes some other BS. I'm gonna keep it real. And with them, what they were doing was I was getting called during my sleeper berth about loads. And they said, oh, we didn't ask you. They would do it tongue in cheek, ask you to go overseas to get somewhere. And a lot of their freight was late freight. So what they wanted you to do is pick up this freight that was already late, get it there as quickly as you could so they could get their money. It was all about income. But I didn't like it, and I also have a problem. If I tell you I need a 34-hour reset, don't look at my hours and say, oh, well, you can roll hours. Okay, yeah, I know I can roll hours. I want a 34-hour reset. 34-hour reset is when I can go and wash my clothes if I haven't washed my behind. But I was running so hard for them, I wasn't even, for me, I am not a nasty trucker. So I need to wash my ass. Excuse my French, I'm going to get there. I need to wash my clothes. And if I'm not able to do it consistently while I'm running, then when it comes down for me running out of my hours, I want to reset so I can do it during that time. I had issues going to that company because I was watching them because she was really pushing them. And I would see their drivers. Their drivers were nasty. The truck was nasty. The drivers looked very tired. And tired drivers are dangerous. Even though I got new equipment, your new equipment is nasty. The person getting in and out the truck is nasty and funky and filthy because they ain't washing their ass. And they ain't got time to wash their ass. You can make money. You running you for miles, but you running for chump change. And you are right. It was less money because they turned around and they didn't tell us until we got in the door that they were going to do forced per diem. And they were taking 10. When you tell me I'm going to make 45 cents a mile, and then when I get in the door, I'm only making 35 cents a mile. Take home. Okay? I'm sorry. You need to tell me you're going to be doing this per diem crap so I can make other decisions, because I wouldn't have went to them had I known that. And then because we had issues on the reefer side, because of the whole thing with some driver managers, they were like, oh, well, let's try you on the dry side. I don't want to do dry. And the dry side, they won't drop you down 5 cents. So I'm making 30 cents a mile. You crazy as hell. Yeah, I made 2 phone calls. One was to the company I had already been with. I was on leave. And the other one was to another company that had been reaching out to me. And then when my company I had been with said, oh, this is how much we paying now, I went back to the company I was with. And granted, I have issues here, but this is a different type of issue. But I like my driver manager. So if you're gonna run into stuff in trucking, because it's so convoluted, you're gonna run into issues. That's the issue as far as trainers. So as far as trainers go, I had a better trainer experience with Swift than I did Werner. But I got DCIJams he had a decent trainer, but there's some things that I can tell he did not learn in his training. Now, when I came back here to this other company, starter company that I'm with, I had to do a refresher training. And I had to go out. The first girl I went with, that's the one that, if y'all go back, y'all can watch my TV watcher video. I won't get into much, but she liked to watch TV while she was driving down the road, Netflix and all that on her phone. I won't get into much of that. I liked her. Y'all can watch that video. I'm not going to get into that right now. She told me when I came on the truck that she wasn't sure she was going to stay. So then she said she's going to go home time in Mission, Texas. And I didn't want to get stuck in Mission, Texas if she decided not to come back to the company. So I told her to drop me off in Phoenix. I then went on this other lady's truck who I think has some racial issues. It was weird because she's Native American. And when she saw me, all of a sudden, she was just a total B. We talked over the phone. Phone conversation was great. When she saw me in person and by the contact photo, everything changed. She became ice cold. And I actually fractured my ankle under her. And I had already told them prior to the fracture, I need to get off her truck when we got back into Phoenix. And she was only doing shots from Phoenix to California. She's doing Bose loads. And I already told them. And then when I went to reach up to try to climb up in the back, it was gritty. I don't know if she did it because I went to the bathroom, come out, and she's like, well, you need to sweep out the trailer. I'm like, okay, I've done it before. But the way she did it, I mean, it's almost like she's treating you like you're a dog. I mean, she's an ass. And then when I went to pull up, everything was gritty, fell back, ankle twisted, and I fractured off the ankle. Hold on, y'all. I'm trying to get rid of some stuff. Yeah, a lot of people came into trucking when it was hard to work back in between 2000 and I had job offers, so that wasn't a problem for me because I had job offers from banks because I have a financial background. But I decided to come into trucking, and I actually like trucking. Brian Moj was on here and had left, and he's like, "I'm coming back," because it's weird. It's a bug. So I came back into trucking, and I finished out with. I got a good trainer who'd been with the company a long time. I finished out with him, got my back down, and then I went on my own. And then I tried to do the mentor thing here, but it's hard. The people I was getting was hard. Even people who had experience were just horrible. So by the time I did the last guy, I was like, I'm not doing this anymore. So I'm back to driving pretty much solo. So to me, the worst part is for the person, Shamir, is the whole mentor thing. That's the worst part of getting to the point where you get your own truck. As far as being a woman in the industry, when I researched, one of the things, a lot of trucking companies, like women, we're more cautious and less aggressive. So we tend not to have the type of accidents they have, no offense, fellas, as the fellows. So back when I was researching it, it was saying they liked older people and they did like women. You don't have the patience to train. I feel you, Black Greek. My patience is done. I'm getting too old. I don't, because I'm like this. These are the rules. Follow the rules. We shouldn't have a problem. And then if you can't follow those rules, then you got to get your ass off my truck because you're not going to kill me. I'm sorry. This is some very dangerous crap. You can't get up in this truck and, like the little Nigerian chick goes, I'll figure it out, Shannon. I'm like, oh, hell no. There's some stuff you can figure out, but I don't want to be out here 2 years and 8 months because you won't listen. So I'm good. But that's, to me, the hardest part is that I don't see where there should be an issue for you as a woman coming in. Now, there is still discrimination out here. Don't even get that twisted. There's a lot of these. You go sit inside of the damn truck stop at a what's that, the Iron Skillet or Country Pride. Don't even have to open your mouth. Just sit in the driver area, and you hear all that wonderful racism right there. It's still, you got, right now they've shown videos. The company I'm at, they had some video up where the driver slapped another company driver in the damn fuel aisle, a female driver. And, to me, they need to terminate that dude because that says something about who he is as a person, and he's dangerous. But, you got to be careful out here. You got to be careful. So, we've done some safety videos for women, but you're still going to have the racial part. You're still going to have the discrimination because you're a woman. You're going to have that. And there's going to be companies. One thing I did, I looked up the guy who mentored me into the industry. Trucker Bill told me, he said, he's a black man with over 42 years of experience. Turn on the CB radio. You hear a lot of racism. I don't even have one. I need to get one just for weather. But that didn't even make that a priority because half the time, I never used my CB radio. When I had it on, it was always some racial slurs or them talking about, sex. I'm so good. I was like this. That's not it. Just, yeah, cup of tea. They talking about trying to hook up with the lot lizards, or they talking about racism. Hey, Sonia, what's up, baby? They talking about racism. They talking about, a whole bunch of stuff. So I don't even deal with the CB radio. I need to get one because it's good for winter weather. And if you get stuck in traffic and you can radio ahead and find out what's going on. But I don't even have one yet. I'm going to break down and probably do that. Be one of my next things. My first thing was to get me a trucker GPS. Even though my company has one, I call her GG, Go Girl, because it's the most ghetto ass. You got to be hitting a button and driving. I'm like, I'm going to have more of an accident trying to hit this damn button to reroute. It's crazy as hell. Whereas Garmin should just automatically reroute. But yeah, so that's kind of my experience. I'm real. I already know racism exists, and trucking, unfortunately, is very blatant with it. And I think it's blatant because I don't know how to put this. I do think we have a lot more people from areas of the country where trucking is very prominent, but also those areas tend to breed a certain mentality. And so you're going to get some guy, country dude, who don't know nothing about an African-American person, a Latino person. They have predisposed something that they learned from their daddy and their mama, and they don't know you from a cup of tea, and they put generalizations to put everybody in the same class, which ain't true. So, and these people come into trucking. It's just like I sit there and I listen to these old truckers. God forgive me, they can barely speak English proper. And, they talk about our current leadership in the country, and he's doing a fabulous job. Yes, and they say it, and then they say some other stuff that really tells you their racial thought process. And you just sitting up there, he's a businessman. And I'm thinking, I have a very deep business management background, and I'm going to help you out. Business people are some of the dirtiest people you can get. Hey, ZZ Beta, what's up, baby? And so I see that. But yeah, so when you come out here, you're going to run into all that. You're going to have to build a thick skin out here, but you should not Shamir, be running. I don't know what you're running into as a woman just getting into it. I did not have any obstacles getting in. On a trainer truck, that's hard. And if you do, my one thing is I'm big on this. I had male trainers. I did at Werner ask for a female trainer after going through 2 bad ones. I did have all male trainers here. I had a female trainer, then I had 2 female trainers. One was hard, and the one, well, both of them were bad in their own way. The first girl, she was cool, but she just wanted your mile. She didn't care about nothing else, and she just watched TV going down the road. But she was funny. I liked her as a person because she was funny as hell. The second one was a butthole I broke my ankle with, and then the third one was a guy, and he was very thorough. I've become friends with him and his wife. Very cool people. Him, his wife, and his mom. Very cool people. Very sweet people. But I don't have a problem with a male trainer as long as you are a gentleman. And he was a perfect gentleman. Like I said, only one thing he did, he went home time. They put me in a hotel. He didn't get paid for it, and he used the Qualcomm to look at my paycheck. I didn't like that because what he was trying to see was did they accidentally put the money on my check, and they didn't. They just hadn't paid him yet. But you asked me to log into my money, and even though I was getting paid, what he knows what everybody was getting paid as a student, it's still my personal information. So he remembered my login in order to log in and see my paycheck. I didn't like that. And when I was coming out the bunk, he was looking at my personal information. That's the only thing he did that kind of ticked me off. Other than that, perfect gentleman. And I really didn't say anything because I'm like, if this is the only thing he's done of all the things he could do, I'm going to blow that out because I know that all students make the same kind of flat fee. It was, we got a flat dollar amount that we got paid. So, yeah, so I didn't really have any problems. Even that was my refresher training. And, my coming in, the inside trainers, that was tough. No problem. I'm doing better. I feel better. Still have a little bit of drainage. My doctor called in some stuff for me, so I'm going to go probably get that later on tonight. I'm going to go do laundry because I was sweating. When you take meds and you take cold meds, you're sweating in the bed. I'm getting over a cold. They did not. My driver manager's been working with me. She's like, yeah. Because I have the load I came in with, they have not taken it off me. So I guess they just, whenever they need to schedule to take it, she's like, yeah, we just left it there. And just call me tomorrow and I'll find an appointment. So, and our week is shot anyway, because the pay period stops on Wednesday. So the whole pay period week is shot. So tomorrow I'll give her a call so I can get up and running so I can start earning some money. Excuse me, y'all. So because I got up early last night and started working on this truck. So I can earn some money so I can, because I'm going to be after the 1st to hang out with my dad. So I told her the 4th, because originally it was the 1st. It's the 4th. So I'm feeling better. Yeah, the pay advances, Black Greek, they do hit you, but sometimes you got to have them. So, I took one when I knew I was going to be down because I knew I was going to have to go to a doctor's appointment. I knew I was going to have to get some cold stuff, and my loop was getting low. So I had to take a little pay advance. But my pay advance, they only let us do $106 a week. So, yeah, but the pay advances do kick your butt on your paychecks, and I usually try to stay away from them if I can. Normally when I use them is when I come off home time. Sonia, the dad, is a hot mess. Oh, hold on. Let me just finish this, Sonia. Shamir, so I hope that helps you. But if you have any other questions, let me know. And Shamir, I will also get you the headhunter information because I'm not sure if you're at the point of a trucking school or not. Let me know. And you'll see this video, so you'll see some of the companies I mentioned that for trucking school that should be able to help you, okay? But yeah, let me know. Y'all know I answer questions. I'm pretty much an open book. Y'all, I'm going to try to move this curtain a little bit, see if y'all see. Is that okay? Let me know if the signal does something wonky. So my dad is a hot mess, y'all. I had Joe laughing today. Me and Joe, we kind of squashed our beef. We had a little beef. And he came and helped me get some stuff out the truck because my truck was very cluttered. I still got to work on some stuff. So when I'm sick, I hate clutter. So I said, Joe, I got to take some bags off of here. Plus, I don't know what I'm doing after the 1st of the year. I like my driver manager. Part of me really wants to stay here. But I'm also very irritated with some of our equipment issues, which I was irritated with before. And, it's bad. I talked to 2 kids that we met, and they were here at the company. And one of them lost his car working for this company. He was always in the shop. He said if it wasn't the truck, it was the trailers. And so he said we lost our car. So now they're working. They want lease purchase. And they're doing, I think they're going, some company getting 72% of the load, but I think they're flatbed, but he said they had a reefer division. So he's going to let me know how they're doing, and then he'll get me information for their reefer division for this company he's with. So I may look into that. A lot of things are going on with the company I'm with, but the dad, my dad is a hot ass mess. I'm just gonna say that. So my dad is retired railroad. For those of you who have watched some of the other videos, he was a Vietnam vet. He worked respiratory therapy, and then he got burned on that and went to the railroad. Bridges military time, work, but he's like a hot ass mess. So now he pretty much sleeps in a chair all day long in front of TV. He does not drive truck. He was with BNSF railroad. He was with the railroad. So he was in transportation, but with the railroad, which is, for those of y'all who want even more money, y'all might want to look into them. And they were paying like $25,000 and more sign-on bonuses for the railroads, BNSF and Burlington Northern, Santa Fe, and Union Pacific. I don't know what part of the country you got to work in, but they're hiring too, big time. Good money. Look, if I wasn't fat and fluffy, I'd be out there on the railroad. I'm letting you know now. It's dangerous as hell too, because he can tell. I did a video a while back where I showed him talking about people on the railroad that he worked with, some that died, and one of his assistants who died. His issue, Sonia, my father is a diabetic. He had prostate cancer, and he's now impotent and incontinent. And the impotency happened because of the prostate cancer. I think his incontinency is due to his diabetes that he won't manage. Your dad tell you about the railroad? Yeah, they and you know what though? It's weird because transportation people, I don't care if it's railroad, I don't care if it's trucking, all of us are crazy. But the railroad folks, they off the chain. My dad was telling me some stories about the railroad people. They's a trip. But he doesn't do anything but sit and sleep. And I talked to him, and I think he's lonely. He is lonely. He may, like a lot of railroad, because railroad men, he had families, and he had different women in different cities because he was over the road for a while. And my father has 3 sets of us. So I'm his first child from high school. He had my brother, Texas Most Wanted. The only woman he was married to, he had my brother. And I think while he was with her, he had this family that was in another city just up the road in Plainview, and he's got 3 kids by that woman who's passed away. So I've got half siblings, and I know them, my sister and 2 brothers. And I got 1 brother. We got 2 different moms, and we almost look like twins. That's how strong my father's genes are. It's a hot ass mess. So anyway, I'm gonna, after the first of the year, because I was talking to him, and I kind of said, he's like, well, can you come through? Why can't you route down and go? He's trying to find ways for me to come to Lubbock and hang out. And I've had some loads. I had one that went to Freon, and I was able to get a free shower. But I had another load. Probably had I left out a little early, I could have went through Lubbock and hung out with him. But I had to do laundry and stuff, and I was coming off home time. But he's pretty lonely. What's so dangerous about it? Oh, the railroad. So similar to trucking, you got to watch what you do. So my father, I talked to him one night. He called me, hey, how you doing? This back when he was working. Like, what's going on? You can tell he sounded shaky. I had a hard night tonight. The train had jumped the tracks, and they had to jump off the train. He would tell he was a trainer. He trained he was a brakeman switchman. So he switched the tracks and helped break the train. And he would tell his trainees, if you see me run, you need to be running too. So basically, when he started running, that usually meant that the train was either jumping the track. So they had a train out in Lubbock that he took me by the area that it fell off the tracks, and because it was going to be too much expense and where it was at, they weren't going to use the land, and I think it was BNSF land. They basically had all the guys get out there with shovels, and they just covered the damn train, that engine up with dirt, so it's buried in the ground. They just covered it with dirt. So there's times like that. When he was here on home time, his assistant was killed on the trains. He got and his friend Nick was the engineer that it happened under. And I know Nick. I haven't interviewed Nick. I'm gonna have to interview Nick when I go back to Lubbock. Nick is cool. He's a Latino dude, totally cool, well educated, like bachelor's, master's kind of thing. I think he's like psychology, psychiatry, really smart dude. Another Vietnam vet. Hated working in the office, went to work on the train. Totally cool dude though. Major PTSD though. When Nick was talking to me, he'd been married once, and he talked about not being able to sleep. And he was a frontline guy, so he was out there in the front lines with the Vietnam. Sonia, I'm scared to go back to trucking school because I failed one of the maneuvers I pointed out on the alley dock. Oh, yeah, I just had to do an alley dock. You know what? And I'm trying to remember. I don't think at my school we didn't even do no dang alley dock. we didn't, and I had something similar I just did in El Paso. And I'm gonna tell you, Keys to the Kingdom with backing, and it didn't click for me. And hopefully this may help some of you guys. I'm born in 1968, Travis. Hopefully it'll help some of you guys who are going through trucking school. So when you're going to trucking school, and backing is usually your biggest struggle. Everybody, I don't care who you are, backing is your struggle because you got to try to back a big ass trailer, right? What's going to happen is after you get the concept of how to turn this wheel to maneuver the trailer, it's going to go click. The only back I messed up on was parallel when I was in trucking school. I couldn't get the parallel. Could blindside back like the devil. The parallel, I first did it, and then all of a sudden, once the blindside offset or whatever back came in, clicked in, I couldn't get the parallel down. I couldn't pass it. But I took the hit on the parallel. I didn't care. I took the hit. Because I think you can only miss so many points on the range road part. And at least that's how it was in Arizona back in the day. I think it's 10 points or whatever. So I took the hit on the parallel. I did the drive. I was fine. All the other backs, I was fine. I got that trailer as far as I could, put it in the check, hunked the horn, and I passed. I was like, all I cared was that I passed the maneuvers and I passed the driving. I just took the hit on the parallel back. All the other backs I could do. It was just parallel. Now I can parallel park the truck. Because the concept of it is once you understand trailer swing and you understand your steering wheel and understand your setup, you can do virtually any back unless it's something really crazy. Like there's a facility in California, they can just give me a failed load for it. I will never go to it. I told my driver manager, we will always T-call that load. I will not go to that facility. Because it's not designed for these trucks. And you're not going to have me hit the wall because they got a wall that has the scrapes of all the trucks that have hit that wall trying to back into their docks. Why are you sending sleeper cabs to that mess? Two companies, I know Pride was one, and another company that delivers to that company, they drop their trailers and bobtail to the front, and the yard dog puts their trailers in the door. Why don't you have that same agreement? And if you don't have that same agreement, you're not going to put me in a position where I'm going to risk my CDL for foolishness. Not. Straight insanity. And I went on leave right after that. I went and dealt with stuff with my dad, and I needed to leave at that point. They sent me down, and now though I went to El Paso, and that back I looked at it, I was like, Lord, but I put it right in there with not a lot of issues. And like I said, once you understand trailer swing, you do it. Now there's some things I don't even risk. I don't risk. I'm not going to do it. You're not, because that messes me up for future jobs. Quanda Gamer, what made me want to come into the trucking industry? You look good, Black Don't Crack. Thank you, Travis. Okay, somebody up here doing stuff to the train. You lucky they didn't have them guys come. It used to be, one of the people on here said they used to break into the trains. Used to be they had people on there with them clubs, and if you was on that train, they whoop your ass up on that train. They don't play. I don't know if they do that anymore. I think they have people that go check them, and you might get arrested or something like that for trespassing. But yeah, one guy, and I'll get back to somebody asked me the question about what made me come into trucking. Quanda Gamer, I'll get into that in a minute. One guy, you asked me what was so dangerous about it. One guy that my dad had lost his legs. And he said his friend found, you can see the video, my dad's talking about it. He found his legs up from where they were cut off at the train. His driver, his assistant who died while he was here on home time in Arizona, on vacation, there was a train coming this way and the train that Nick was driving, and he got pinned in between the two trains and killed. And that was another engineer's son, because there's a lot of family that works on the railroad. So you got family that works on the railroad. Because it's a brotherhood, sisterhood, and but they funny. I've met some of them train folks. He had one who drives a Harley with flip-flop shorts and a muscle shirt and has a long ponytail in his beard and in his hair, going down in Lubbock on his motorcycle with flip-flops. I used to drive a motorcycle. Ain't no way in hell you'd ever catch me driving a motorcycle with flip-flops. No way in hell. So that's a different kind of cat right there. That's all I gotta say. He got a different mentality. Going back to what made me come into trucking, I was driving on the freeway and saw trucks, and I wanted to travel. I'm way too fat to be a damn flight attendant. I got a really good girlfriend of mine who's a flight attendant. I don't know and I really don't know that I'd ever want to be a flight attendant. Honestly, she travels everywhere, and I'd love to go to some places she's traveled. She does international flights. She's doing domestic this month because she said there was more money in the domestic this month, so she's doing that. I just talked to her a couple days ago. But when we worked together at Chase Bank, but I got burnt out on being in offices. I wanted a job where I could travel, and I was like, what do I like to do? And what I love to do when I would get off work is I love driving. I could drive from here to Tucson, here up in the mountains in my car, and that was so peaceful to me. And so I ended up going into trucking school. That's kind of what I decided to do. I got downsized. I was in my 40s, and it probably might have been my middle-aged crazies. I don't know. And I just said, no time like the present. It was no time like the present to do something that I had been talking about for years. And it was an associate of mine that says, you ain't going to do it. You scared. And it kind of was like a challenge to me. And then I just said, you know what? Go for it. And I went for it. And so I did it. And I'll tell you, I'm not the fastest driver. I'm probably I'm usually between 55 and 58 miles an hour. Sometimes it drops down to 40, 45, depending on what I'm driving. And I'm more cautious with this company because, like I said, the trailers that we have are not the best maintained. Sometimes I don't see how stuff is loaded. And because I'm already driving something that's not maintained well, that's old, I'm cautious. I'm very cautious because a tire could go. I ain't no telling with these folks because the trailers are just horrid. It's just, that's my biggest issue right now is equipment. Like, I really would like the newer. They do have the 2018 and 19 where you put the refrigerator and stuff. They just are such assholes in our Phoenix location. I couldn't get one. Yeah, because they were like, oh, try this truck, come back the next day. So what they do is they whittle you down to take some kind of piece of shit because you need to get out here and start making your money. And it's okay. It's okay. And like I said, the only reason I've stayed this long is I really like the driver manager, and then I wanted to get through the year without another W-2. You have to know what's inside your trailer. And when I say that, I'm not saying so I could do frozen meat. Because if you get pulled over by DOT, they can ask you what's inside that trailer. And it's really kind of odd if you're a truck driver, you don't know what the hell you're carrying, because you could be carrying drugs, you could be carrying illegal aliens, you could be smuggling sex traffickers. I mean, there's a whole bunch. So you really want to know what's on your manifest, what's on your bill of lading that you're hauling. And, you don't need to know good specifics. I mean, most companies is going to be frozen meat for what I do, reefer, or vegetables, or frozen food, or, I haven't carried plants, but you carry plants, flowers, whatever. Something like that on a reefer, but it's on a dry van. You should know I'm carrying Gatorade, I'm carrying Pepsi Cola, I'm carrying canned goods, I'm carrying clothing. You should know what the hell you're hauling. Charlotta, I am really leaning towards it. That's kind of why I was looking at Prime. When I met the lady from Prime, she told me they get 73% of the load. And I don't necessarily want to work for a company where it's dollar per mile, because with dollar per mile, you're really chasing that truck payment. When you're getting percentage of load, that's speaking some languages right there. They're sharing in the profits that they're getting for a load. Well, at least hopefully they're telling you the truth of what they're getting paid. So percentage of load is actually a good idea. And that's kind of what I'm looking for, is a company that does percentage of load and lease. But the thing is, if you lease from those companies and you lease on with them, your truck note is going to be probably somewhere in the $800 a week range. So that's why right now I'm struggling, because I'm trying to get through winter, because I don't want to go into a lease purchase deal in winter. Because if you're trying to make those lease payments and then you got to shut down, no, I don't want to do that. Okay, Black Greek said, I used to be a dock worker at Old Dominion. Old Dominion, actually, I heard they do pretty good. I got tired of being told what to do and when to take breaks, so I became a truck driver. Yeah, truck driver, I mean, you can set they try to tell us when to take I always delete that off. Yeah, because I drive up until I decide I need to stop. Whether I need to pee, whether I want to eat, whether I need a break, whether I'm tired, I drive till I want to stop. Let me see if I'm trying to see if I missed any questions. Okay, I was scared to go back to trucking school because I feel, I don't, so you know what, you'll be fine, just try it again, you'll get it. What's so dangerous about it? We already did the dangerous, talked about the pop, so just making sure I hit all the questions. CC Beta, I put my feelings, attitude, righteousness in my pocket when I need to learn something new as much as possible. You do in trucking, you sometimes have to do that. Okay, Travis, you drove a mail truck. Okay, Travis, I like this. Travis wrote, right, women stepping up nowadays. Men don't like it. It is what it is. If females can't teach me how to drive, then so be it. Oh, I'll have to talk about that. That's a Werner conversation. Now, let me jump back, because that's actually opens up a Werner situation. Patience to train. Okay, Black Greek said, don't have patience to train. What kind of truck do I have? Quan the Gamer. I hope you're still on here. I drive a Freightliner 2017 Cascadia. And Travis, you said it's time to do something. You know what? We got a guy coming. DCIJams just came in, and he's the same age as I, 50. And it's never too late. Matter of fact, most trucking companies, I'm just going back here. Okay, we got to talk about the dog. I knew there was something else I wanted to hit for Charlotta. Most trucking companies, as far as, I just lost my train of thought. I just lost my train of thought, y'all. I was going to talk about some truck companies. Anyway, I'm going to go to the dog. Hopefully I'll remind myself. Oh, Werner. Charlotta, I got to come back to the dog. It helps a lot to have a dog and a fiance, and I want them to be on the truck with me when I drive. I'm going to look for a school and let them come with me. Thank you so very much. Okay, so you may have to do the school on your own, and then once you get your truck on your own, then you could get them on there. Swift does allow dogs, Knight allows dogs, Prime allows dogs, KLLM allows dogs, CFI has dogs. I'm trying to think who else. Okay, I think that's all the other stuff. All right, so I'm going to go back there. All right, so Werner. I forgot about the Werner part. So talking about the female, Black Nation TV, baby, I mentioned you early. What's up, baby boy? That's one of my sons. One of my adopted sons. We're going to run into each other one time. You know what? I'm going to have to send you, Black Nation, the Life 360 app. And when I'm in Cali, if I'm there, you're going to have to come meet me up at the old terminal. Matter of fact, I'm coming in. I'll be in Cali maybe tomorrow. I'm going to be up there in Yoruba tomorrow. I got to deliver to Nestle. But they haven't scheduled me yet. But I'll be there tomorrow. But I'll be up at the terminal. I'll be in the terminal. I might go up there and see my driver. I like my driver manager. I do. She worked with me, though, because normally it hurts her when the trucks aren't moving. But she's like, if you need time. Because I was sounding like hell on the phone when I was talking to her. I was like, I felt like doggy shit. I'm not going to lie. I felt like doggy shit. I feel better. Y'all can hear it, right? Still got a little drainage, but that's okay. The drainage is cool from the way my whole body was feeling. Um, and it gave me time to clean some stuff off this truck because I really needed to do that, and I still need. I'm gonna go do laundry here. Might go do laundry tonight. I hate doing laundry, but I'm gonna do laundry. And I need to do the bedding. So Werner and the women. Let's talk about that. So and I like that, Travis, about the women stepping up. So I'm gonna go in here. I didn't mean for this long. I'm just gonna talk until I decide to stop talking. Werner and the women. So when I started, Werner's philosophy, I don't know if it's still their philosophy, but to me it was very jacked up. A woman could train a woman, but she was not allowed to train a man. But a man could train a man, and he could train a woman. Major discriminatory issues with that. And I never said anything. He came in the classroom and told us that. But that's some of that stuff, that racial and gender bias stuff. So what you're saying is a man can't learn from a woman, but he can learn from a man. And a woman can't teach a man. She's beneath being able to teach him. That's a problem. That's a corporate problem. It's a discriminatory problem against women. It's bad. And they, because in trucking, trucking has been an industry that has gotten away with some major stuff. Freddie Jordan was working for KLLM, and he talked about a couple of the companies he went to and some of the business practices they did that were illegal. Trucking has gotten away with a lot of illegal stuff for years. Now a lot of that has come to the surface. I don't know if Werner still has that philosophy. Back in 2009 they did. So as a woman, if I became a trainer for Werner, I couldn't train men, I could only train women. But if I was a trainee, I could have a man train me or a woman train me. Crazy as hell, I'm just saying. LTL allow dogs? I don't know. I can't answer that question. I have not heard of LTL companies. LTL, if y'all don't know what that is, it's usually less than truckloads. Oftentimes you'll see them carrying those little trailers, like the doubles and triples. They can do 53 footers because Trucker Bill's trying to get me to go over to Ashley Furniture, who has some LTL jobs here in Phoenix and in Texas. I would have to unload the truck though, but I think it's a power jack. But it's not bad money. It's like between $70,000 and $90,000 a year. So you would have to check with the different companies. Mail can be good. Are you running your own business, Black Greek? Oh, I was going to talk about me buying a truck. I think I did talk about it a little bit. Black Greek, are you running your own mail where you have your own truck and you're doing the mail? Because I had a friend of mine, her husband, and they both now work for the post office because he had some business issues, and so he let the business go, and he's now working directly for the post office, and she actually is in the office now, but they both used to drive trucks. She kind of helped with mentoring me, one of the female mentors I had in the industry. So, yeah, I don't know, Quan, if LTL allows dogs. You'd have to check with the company. And even with OTR companies, you got to check. Not everybody has dog policies. So, or pet policy. So, you got to check with the company and find out if they do. Trying to see if I missed any questions. What other questions y'all got? I'm probably going to cut this thing down here in a minute. Because we've been on here. I didn't realize it's an hour and 29 minutes. So I hope I answered the questions for the two young ladies. Y'all got any other questions or topics? Oh, I was going to talk about one more thing, and I'll just, he's not in here now, but he asked me, he told me about somebody running for president, in Andrew Yang running in 2020, and something about him on the ride on the trucks, and something about the automated trucks, and something about $1,000 a month. So I'm just going to, it ain't going to take me long. I did do the research. I tell you, if y'all bring something up, I'll try to find out about it. I did research this Andrew Yang. Andrew Yang is the first Asian American running for a Democratic ticket. I don't think he's going to get the nomination, but he brings up some interesting points. So what he's saying is he wants to give all Americans between the ages of 18 and 64 $1,000 a month, like a stipend, because the economic landscape is changing due to the fact of automation. And one thing he brought up was the fact that We are going to have automatic trucks. A lot of things are going to happen in the stores to where we're going to lose jobs in the stores. We're going to lose jobs in trucking, and we're going to lose jobs in other areas, retail, that are going to become automated. And because of that, he knows that that stipend is going to help. It will also help to create other jobs because people will spend money that will help other jobs. But automation is coming. So a lot of people are like, oh, I don't believe in the automated truck. It is coming. It's going to hit the trucking industry. I don't know. My opinion is about 5 to 7 years. So whatever you're going to get in this, you're going to get. And then you may have to be retrained like a co-pilot to be here in case the automated truck doesn't do the right thing. I don't know how they're going to do that. Like I said, Georgia's already working with an automated truck lane. That's going to be a truck only lane. I think it's Georgia. And that lane is going to be for trucks only. And one of the reasons they're creating it is preparing for the automated truck. It's coming. It's coming. How it's going to affect the jobs, I don't know. My suspicion is it's going to hurt teams first. And I don't know if it's going to hurt solo drivers later. Some people don't want to believe it's coming, but it's coming. I definitely believe it's coming. And so what you're going to do, but like people in retail, that's going to, Walmart, if you guys haven't been in Walmart, you know them self-checkout lanes? The reason they've created that and why they all of a sudden, it's almost like they're forcing you to accept it. And that's what they're doing. And they'll have like 1 or 2 lanes open, and then all they have is all the self-checkout lanes, which are quicker. Because what they're doing is forcing you to not use a human anymore. Because eventually they're going to get rid of that human that's behind the counter. That's not going to be their goal. So the only thing they'll probably have is humans stacking the shelves and helping you locate stuff. And that's probably even going to go. Quan, you sweetheart. As soon as it's live, I clicked on it fast. Yeah, so thank you. Y'all, and yeah, thumbs up and like, guys, if you can. And if you haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe. Let me know any topics, because like I said, I had people that reached out and I told them, I said, well, I'll do a quick live feed on it. But yeah, so the automated is going to happen. Any other questions, y'all can hit me up on Facebook or hit me up below. This is 1 hour and 33, so I'm going to break it off. If I can get a live done, probably tomorrow I might do that. I can't think of anything else. I'm going to throw up probably a small video about me going to get my Blaze pizza yesterday. It was good as hell, I'm just saying. Y'all can get a picture of it. It'll be but a quick little video. But y'all have a blessed night and be safe out here on the roads. And like I said, you guys got any questions about trucking, I'm going to put Heidi's number down below so that if y'all need to get in touch with her because you're looking for jobs or you're looking for trucking school, she should be able to help you. Just let her know. I said, and I don't get no money from her, nothing. But it's the headhunter I know. What I like about her is that she was a former fleet manager for Conway, so she understands the industry. And she does, even though she makes her money on placing you, she listens to your situation and tries to place you. So y'all be blessed. Peaceful journey. Peace. Good to see y'all. Sonia, peace. Y'all all have a blessed night. I'm going to end this. Charlotta, hopefully that helps you. If you got any other questions, as soon as this uploads, I'll have her number below. NR, thank you. Thanks for sharing those questions for us, and you have a safe night. I will. I'm not leaving out tonight. I might end up going over to the laundromat, which I hate doing laundry. So I might do that. I have to see. I'm really struggling with that. And I might just get back in this bunk and go to sleep. I haven't decided yet because I was up early. Anyway, y'all, 2 and 2, be blessed. Peace.